Good morning, YouTube fans. It's Sunday morning, October the 4th, 2015 at 9:50 a.m. And I'm coming to you from Salem, Oregon, the place where I grew up. Today has been the anticipated day that we all have been waiting for, I don't know, 15 and a half months. Hey, better late than never. So, Mr. Bennell has conducted an interview with Adam Davies and John Carlson about their experience with the SOHA portal. Now, I would like to start off by saying to all of you naysayers out there, all of you haters out there, I have a special deal going on right now with forks, knives, spoons, and napkins that you can order from me for $19.95, and I'll ship them overnight to you to help you get that crow down your throat. Okay, you can eat that crow, and I can even throw in some spices for you to help that crow taste just a little better that you're gonna have to eat. Now, let's all be fair. When I waited patiently for 10 months for Adam Davies to come out, and he never did, and I had a conference in Bremerton, Washington in April of 2015, earlier this year, and I had some pretty awesome data, research data and information to share with the world, and I waited and he didn't come out. You know what? I'm at my conference, I'm letting out the data. So I let it out. After all, the NDA that I have everyone sign who goes up there says I own all the research data, including fingerprints, handprints, hair samples, saliva samples, audio recordings, pictures, videos. It all belongs to me. It's my research area. I own it all. So I can do with it what I want. And contrary to what some of you haters out there have said, Adam's not talking because of Dr. J's NDA. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. The NDA permits people to talk about what they experience. Matter of fact, why do you think I bring people up there? I bring them up there because I want them to experience the squatches and SOHA, and I want them to go back and tell the world about it. So was it a little frustrating to me for 10 months that Adam wasn't saying anything other than there were squatches up there, and I appreciate that very much. I do. That was cool. He did give a testimonial video along with John about all the squatch activity up there, and that was a good thing. But the point is, the NDA doesn't stop people from talking about what happened up there. So that's why I'm thrilled that they're finally doing this interview with Mr. Bennell, whoever he is. Do you know who Mr. Bennell is? I don't know who he is, but apparently somebody that Adam feels safe interviewing with. So that's good. That's good. So anyway, bottom line is, here we are. And I've waited 15 and a half months. I gave up the research data at my seminar, and some of you were going, that's BS, that's BS. You know, where are the audio tapes? So a couple months later, I released the audio tapes. No, to be fair, some of you went, wow, it must have really did happen. So that, yay, good. But some of you are like, oh, he's manipulating the tapes. He's making it sound like, it wasn't really that way. We still need to hear from Adam. Well, public service reminder, John Carlson, one of the other guys up there, right? As soon as I released the data at my spring conference, he was all over Facebook saying it happened. And he confirmed everything. It happened. The only thing that John Carlson and I were disagreeing about online, and it was a polite disagreement, it wasn't a nasty disagreement. It was a disagreement about who the guardians are. John and Adam thought they were demonic because they were short, dark little beings with glowing red eyes, and the portal opened up to a realm of red sky and dark, scraggly vegetation, so they concluded demonic. Me, on the other hand, having been up there for 8 years, always waking up alive every morning, did not conclude they were demonic. I concluded that they were merely guardians doing their job from 9 to 5, keeping humans out of the portal. So that's the only place that we differed. So anyway, John came out and backed it all up. Adam was still quiet. We want to hear from Adam. We want to hear from Adam. Well, today, you're going to hear from Adam. And I don't know. I have not talked with either one of them. I don't know what they're going to say. This is all kind of speculation on my part. But what the heck? The rest of you are speculating, so why can't I, right? And after all, it's my research area. So if anyone's speculating and you want to hear from somebody, wouldn't it be the guy who founded SOHA, the Southern Oregon Habituation Area? Wouldn't it be the guy, wouldn't you want to hear from the guy who allowed Adam and John to come to his research area? By the way, I didn't ask Adam to come. Adam got a hold of me and asked if I would allow him to come. And then once I said yeah, then he asked, well, can I bring one more friend with me? I'm like, I don't know. Who is he? John Carlson. He's a paranormal guy. He has his own website, and I have to vet him, Adam. I don't know him. I know you know him, but I don't know him. And I've, brought friends of friends before, and it didn't work out good, so I had to talk with John Carlson. Well, I did on the phone, and it worked out pretty good. So I allowed them both to come. So anyway, today's the day. Mr. Bennell, whoever he is interviewing John. Well, actually, the interview's already taken place. He's edited it, and he's going to be posting it sometime later today, tonight, I don't know, but sometime today. And you're going to hear John and Adam talk about their experience with the portal. So now, before I speculate about what they're going to say, I need to provide you with just a little bit of history, because some of you are clueless. Some of you aren't following my audio tapes and my videotapes and my blogs and my posts in the Team Squatching USA Facebook group. By the way, if you have yet to join us, come on in and join us, Team Squatching USA Facebook group. We'd love to have you. So anyway, a little bit of history so you get the big picture of how Adam and John fit into only 4 days of the whole big picture. Okay? Big picture. 9 years ago, had a friend who ran into some tracks along a pond halfway up a mountainside and said, Matt, you have to come see him. Now, keep in mind, I don't engage in ambulance chasing. I think that's counterproductive. And there's a lot of Bigfoot researchers out there that run from one reported Bigfoot sighting to another, to another, to another. That's ambulance chasing. You get nothing done when you run from one reported sighting to the next. So my initial response was, no, not interested, but thank you very much. He was like, Matt, you got to see him, Matt. That's not how I operate. I already have a research area. Matt, you need to do this. Well, to tell you the truth, my other research area was going belly up because I had some partners there that were inviting the whole bloody world to come along. And it was being overrun with people. So I was actually looking for a new area. I didn't tell this other guy that, but okay, I'll go check. So I went and checked, and wow, they were 22-inch tracks at the pond, and they turned around and started walking back up the mountainside. So I started casting one of those tracks, and I had 2 of my kids there. They were younger, in their early teens, and I was casting those tracks, and then all of a sudden we heard on the other side of the knoll up the mountainside, and I was like, yes, there's a squatch there. So I started walking up toward it, and my kids are going, Dad, what are you doing? Get back here. And I said, there's a squatch up there. Yeah, get back here. What are we going to do if it kills you? So, okay, I'll come. So I finished the casting, and we left the mountain. A couple days later, I went back up and followed the tracks up the mountainside. Now, keep in mind, it's not on a nice little paved path up the mountainside. It's through brush, trees, and all kinds of stickers and just really nasty stuff. But I made it to the top, and wow! Awesome place for a research area. So I went out the following weekend, drove the roads, took for bloody ever to find the place, but I found it and established the Southern Oregon Habituation Area, otherwise known as SOHA, S-O-H-A, not SOHO, that's in New York City, people. SOHA, S-O-H-A, SOHA, Southern Oregon Habituation Area, SOHA. It's funny how people are out there. Anyway, established SOHA, and I've been up there for 8 years. Now, I'm not going to draw this out, but the only time I ever had any aggressive activity toward me was when I had a couple actually from England who were up there with me, and we were doing a night sit, and Daddy kind of for about 30 seconds, pause, did it again, pause, did it again, pause. My friends who were with me, their eyes were like, oh, what? That's a squatch, and what are we gonna do? And I said, just a moment, and I stood up and I said, is that all you got? get out here on the road. We want to see you. Come say hello to us. And then you hear it go, huh. And then you hear it walk down the mountain. So the next morning we went out there and found the tracks where it was standing, where it walked down the mountain. But why did I respond that way? Well, I had already been researching for 6 years. Okay, 6 years. And I knew that they weren't going to harm me. Okay, so all you 411 and 411s out there, 411, oh, they're kidnapping people and taking them away, they're killing them, they're eating them, whatever. No, I've been out there for a bazillion days and I wake up alive every morning. So no, they're not. So anyway, also during my first 10 years of research, after my family's encounter on the mountainside above the Oregon caves in 2000, so I did 10 years of research as the old school, aggressive, paparazzi money shot approach, trail cams everywhere, seismic sensors, night vision equipment, all that kind of stuff, and, not really being fruitful. And I told myself, well, Peter Byrne's been out there forever, and he's 40, 50 years, and he's never seen a squatch. Now, I've seen a squatch, but I want to interact with them more than just, getting tree knocks back and screams back from blasting out calls and finding bedding areas and scat piles and tracks on the ground. I wanted more than that. So after 10 years of that, I decided to switch over to the Crazy Kooks way, the Dr. Jane Goodall habituation approach way. And you know what? It started working in SOHA. So my first 4 years in SOHA were still dedicated to the old school aggressive paparazzi money shot approach. My 5th year in SOHA, I switched over to habituation. Year number 6, they started taking my food. The first 5 years, I would leave them food. They wouldn't take the food. Nobody took the food. So for you little critter critics out there saying that little critters taking the food, first 5 years, nobody took the food. Did you hear me? Nobody took the food. Little critters, nobody took the food. There's no little critters up in SOHA. It's on a mountaintop. There's squatches all around. You have to be a pretty stupid little critter to be hanging out there for a quick, easy meal for a squatch. So anyway, first 5 years, nobody took the food. Then they started taking the food. And then slowly but surely, all this squatch activity started happening. They started coming in closer and closer and closer. And then I finally started using a parabolic microphone dish with a Sony digital recorder, and I started recording language, spoken language. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, they're forest people. They're not descendants of Gigantopithecus. They're not dumb giant mountain apes. They're not descendants of Gigantopithecus. They're forest people. The North American Indians have been right all along. They are forest people. And the DNA results that say that they're half human and half something else, they're correct. They're forest people. They're intelligent. They have a spoken language. They live in family groups. The family groups belong to clans. They have social customs like they don't take the food the first night I offer it. I don't know why, but they've repeatedly done that for years. They do not take the food the first night I offer it. By the way, you little critter critics, no little critters have social customs where they won't take the food the first night it's offered. That's squatches that are doing that. So anyway, I've been reporting, and I'm a passionate educator, so when I find something that I love, I share it with the world. That's why when I wrote Positive Parenting with a Plan, my book, I spoke in 80 cities a year for over 10 years, all over the USA, all 50 states more than once, most Canadian provinces, and I spoke at the World Family Therapy Conference in Europe, trained counselors from around the world, because that's what passionate educators do. So when I got my hands on my Bigfoot hobby, that's what I did. I freely share my information with you. Now, a lot of you believe me, and a lot of you want more. But then the rest of you, doubting Thomases, haters, trolls, and moles, whatever. I'm sharing the truth. So I start a Facebook group. It grows up to 6,500 people. I'm getting people's attention. Adam Davies contacts me and says, can I come to SOHA with you? I didn't look him up. He looked me up. And I said, sure, Adam, I'd love to have you come up. And then that's when he kind of sneaked, John Carlson in, and I vetted him, and that's fine. And Adam Davies and I were talking, and we were Skyping, and I said, Adam, let me tell you how this is going to go. You know, he's still in England. We're Skyping. I said, let me tell you how this is going to play out. He said, okay. I said, you're going to come to Washington and you're going to go to the Olympic Project with Derek Randles. You're going to meet good people, have good food, good drink, beautiful scenery, and you're going to all exchange stories about Bigfoot, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And how could it not be fun? It's going to be awesome, but you're not going to get anything Bigfoot related there because they're not doing it right, and they take too many people up on the mountain. You can't get any Squatch activity that way. They have 50 trail cams everywhere. That's Squatch repellent. I did it for 10 years. I know it's Squatch repellent. It doesn't work. You know, so anyway, that's just, you know, you're going to have fun. You're going to have good food, good drink, great people, good stories, but nothing Squatch related. Then you're going to come to SOHA, and you're going to get your freaking mind blown. And then after SOHA, you're going to go down to Northern California with Bart Curtino and Justin Smeja, and you're going to be processing with them about what happened in SOHA, because you're not going to get any Squatch activity down there either. And when Adam got back to England, he said, Matt, you were 100% spot on. I called it 100% right, okay? And I was. Because there's a right way to go about squatching, and there's a not so right way to go about squatching. And that's why Adam and John had the activity they experienced when they were with me in SOHA, because the habituation research method is the way to do it, not the old school aggressive paparazzi money shot approach. So now let's put things in perspective real quick about what happened when John and Adam were with me in SOHA. And I might add, my 8-year-old son Grady was up there with us as well. So what happened? First 2 nights, major Squatch activity. Matter of fact, 30 minutes out of the gates, we had a Squatch at 10 or 11 o'clock behind some bushes go, oh! And here in the audio tape, you know, holy shit, did you hear that? I can't believe this. You know, and it was Adam Davies responding as he almost fell over backwards in his chair. And the first 2 nights, we had major Squatch activity all around the perimeter from 9 to 12 and 12 to 3. That's where the focus in SOHA has always been, on the 9 to 12 to 3 o'clock position on the perimeter. Okay, behind us, 6 o'clock. Don't pay attention to 6 o'clock. We pay attention to what's in front of us. 9 to 12 to 3, back to 12, back to 9. That's where I would play all my music and walk the perimeter and talk with them. And that's where we were getting all the Squatch activity. Well, on the third night, John and Adam were back in the smoking section of SOHA. Smoking section? Yeah, I don't smoke. I grew up with a mom who smoked. Hated it. Hated being stuck in a car with parents that smoked. Or actually, mom, my dad didn't smoke. And the windows are up, and you try to roll them down, they yell at you because you want some fresh air. By the way, if you're doing that to your kids, you know, bad parent. You don't do that to your kids. It's horrible. So anyway, I'm up on this mountaintop with all this fresh air. Last thing I want to breathe in is cigarette smoke. So I established a smoking section at SOHA, which is back toward the 6 o'clock position, away from where all the activity is, right? So John and Adam are back there laughing, talking, smoking, laughing, talking, smoking, laughing, talking, smoking. And then Matt, come here, Matt. And I'm a little miffed because there's all this Squatch activity going on from 9 to 12 and 12 to 3. And that's why they came there. And I wanted them to be able to experience it and testify about it after they left. And so I'm a little miffed, and I'm like, you guys get up here. Matt, come back here. You guys get up here. Matt, come back here. So I walk around the Suburban, and bam, the portals opened up to a dimension or a world of red sky, dark, scraggly vegetation. And then there were 2 little guardians, about 3 feet tall, looked like little Ewoks without clothes on, hairier though, glowing red eyes, and they were keeping Adam and John away from the portal. Adam and John saw it. I saw it. My son Grady saw it. My little dog Atlas saw it and was responding to it. We talked with Cynthia on the phone about it afterwards, 2 nights in a row, and with her when we all got back home from the trip. So there's lots of witness testimony that it happened. Regardless of whether you want to believe it or not, it happened. So anyway, when we were up there, I was being a good host and driving them around to see different sites during the day. Now, they would sleep in the car during the day. I couldn't sleep and drive at the same time. I had to be awake, so therefore I had to sleep at night. So while Adam and John were up at night doing battle with the guardians of the portal, although I didn't think they needed to do battle. And if you listen to the audio tapes, you'll hear me say, guys, go to bed, ignore them, and they'll go away. No, we can't do that. So listen to the audio tapes, you'll hear it. Also listen to the audio tapes and you'll hear them rebuke them in the name of Christ. They thought they were demonic. They weren't rebuking squirrels in the name of Christ, or deer or cougar or black bear in the name of Christ. They were rebuking guardians of the portal in the name of Christ. So anyway, I was able to sleep because in my mind I concluded I'd been up there for 8 years. Nothing ever killed me in my sleep. I always woke up alive every morning. I'm going to wake up alive again. And besides, I'm driving these guys around. They can sleep when I drive. I need to sleep so I can drive. So that's why I slept. I knew I was safe. We didn't have anything to worry about. And if they wanted to stay up all night, they could stay up all night. Now, the bottom line is that you need to keep in mind that at that point, I had 8 years of experience in SOHA. Before the portal opened up, John and Adam only had 2 nights of experience. In those 2 nights, they were being blown away by major squatch activity. Okay, so keep in mind, they were at the Olympic project where I called it right, nothing really happened. Then they're in SOHA where they're getting major squatch activity for 2 nights, as I predicted, and I called it right because I'm not a liar and I'm not a hoaxer. And so they're, 2 nights of major squatch activity, and then you throw on top of that a portal, and guardians of the portal. No wonder they're freaking. I mean, let's be fair to them. Who wouldn't be freaking? Well, I wouldn't be freaking because I had experience up there, but it's normal for them to be freaking. And because of that, I prepare my guest about a portal and possible guardians and everything else. So anyway, during that time up there, they stayed up all night. They went back to sleep. I had to wake Adam up because we needed to check the gifting bowls. And I needed a witness so nobody could accuse me of tampering with the bowls. John was still sleeping, but Adam came out with me. When we came back to camp, Adam was whispering to me about what happened while I was sleeping and said that they're not connected. The guardians and the Bigfoot aren't connected. They're not related. He's not going to talk about the guardians, doesn't know what they are, but they're not connected. So if you're told that they never said that they weren't connected, that they were not connected, that's not true. Adam said from the get-go they're not connected. Now, is Adam entitled to change his mind, his opinion, after 15 and a half months of thinking? Yeah, sure, why not? But initially, he thought they weren't connected. I'm telling you they are connected. So, since that time, by the way, I tried to open the portal in July of 2014. In August of 2014 without any success. I thought it was just proximity, and proximity wasn't opening up the portal. In September of 2014, I actually saw a squatch walk out of the portal. So guess what? They're connected. The guardians, the portal, the squatches, they're connected. Then since that time, I tried to open the portal and I couldn't open the portal. And then in June of this year, of 2015, just a few months ago, I finally had an epiphany, an aha moment. I finally figured out what I thought it would take to open up the portal. So I conducted an experiment with my guest, and I said, you guys trust me, right? I'm not going to put you in any danger, but I'm going to do an experiment, and I need you guys to come with me to a place. And so I took him to the Oregon Vortex, a house of mystery, and then we came back, and guess what? That night we opened a portal. Did not open to a red sky and little guardians. It opened up to a dimension of light and energy. And we managed to pull that off in June of this year, July of this year, and September of this year. So 9 people now have seen the portal. 9 people. Not just Adam and John and me, or Grady, 4 of us. 5 more people. Total of 9 people have seen the portal. And everyone lived, everyone woke up alive. So the bottom line is, here's the speculation, and then I need to go eat some breakfast. Cynthia's been patient, she's calling me in. So here's my theory about what you're going to hear on Mr. Benill's interview today. You're going to hear John and Adam talk about the portal and the guardians, and you're going to hear them conclude that the guardians are demonic and that they are now connected with the Sasquatch. You know, initially Adam said they're not connected, but now he's changed his mind, and that's okay. And he's going to say they are connected, and he's going to conclude that both the guardians and the Squatches are demonic, and they're not going to want anything to do with them anymore. And you're going to hear Adam say he wants to go on with other research other than Bigfoot related research, because he has experienced in his own mind that the guardians and the Squatches are demonic. Now, what I'd like to say in closing is I love those two guys. I had a great time with those two guys. We had a whole lot of fun, and it was a mind-blowing experience. But quite frankly, every time you go to SOHA, it's a mind-blowing experience. And I'm used to it, and they weren't. So to be fair with them, they had their mind blown, and it was all new. So I love those guys. John has a real strong Catholic upbringing. I don't know what Adam's religious background is, but I know John has a strong Catholic upbringing. And all I'm going to say is, what happened when the white men, the Catholics, discovered South America and North America? What did they do when they ran into the Indians? They're demonic. What did the Protestants do and the Catholics do when they landed in Alaska and ran into the Eskimos and the Indians? They're demonic. Every time, you know, throughout the history of the church, whenever we run into something new we don't know or understand, the automatic conclusion is demonic. And just because they're dark little hairy figures with glowing red eyes doesn't make them demonic. It's just something we don't understand. Now, if they were demonic, then why do I wake up alive every morning? If they're demonic, why are they kind, gentle, peaceful, docile, and playful? And if they're demonic, why do they have families? They have kids. We have the babies recorded crying. We have the foot tracks. Demons have babies. Demons raise families. Demons have families that belong to clans. So this whole conclusion, if indeed that's what John and Adam walk away from their experience from SOHA, is that they're demonic and they're not going to have anything to do with them anymore, I caution the rest of you researchers out there not to arrive at the same erroneous conclusion. Are Adam and John entitled to believe what they want to believe? Heck yes. They are. They're entitled to believe what they want to believe. If they want to conclude they're demonic and walk away from all future Bigfoot research, God bless them. And have a great life and enjoy whatever you choose to research. But I'm the one who's been in SOHA for 9 years, going on my 10th year. I guarantee you they're not demonic. I guarantee you the Guardians, the Portal, and the Squatches are related and connected. And there's a lot more to learn about that, because I don't know everything about it, and I have a lot more to learn, and I am learning a lot more. And again, you can come to our Team Squatching USA Facebook group and learn more. But I guarantee you they're not demonic. So I'm glad John and Adam came with me. I'm glad Adam is finally speaking up today. I may have called the whole thing wrong. I don't think so. I called it right the first time. I think I'm calling it right the second time. And again, for all you naysayers, doubting Thomases, trolls, moles, and haters, don't forget about my 1995 special with a fork, spoon, and knife and napkin. And I'm even throwing in some spices for you to, help that crow go down that you're going to eat. Because you have a whole lot of crow to eat. So anyway, I'm moving on with my day. Thank you for your time. And I can't wait to hear the interview, just like the rest of you. Hasta la bye-bye.